You won't believe this. In the quiet halls of medieval convents, hidden behind locked doors, some nuns were living double lives. Secrets that could ruin reputations, destroy families, and scandalize kingdoms. How often did nuns really break their sacred vows? The answer will shock you. Medieval Europe is often remembered as a time of piety, devotion, and rigid social rules. Convents were supposed to be sanctuaries of purity, a place where women dedicated their lives to God. But historical records, court documents, and confessions tell a very different story. A story of temptation, forbidden love, and the human struggle between duty and desire. Today, we're diving into centuries-old archives, unearthing shocking statistics, and revealing how often nuns actually broke their vows. And I promise, some of these stories are stranger than fiction. Imagine a convent in the 14th century. The walls are thick stone. Candles flicker in the chapel. Silence is broken only by the soft whispers of prayer. Young women, often from noble families, dedicate their lives to a strict routine of devotion, rising before dawn, chanting psalms, laboring in the gardens, and studying sacred texts. Yet behind these serene walls, human desires persisted. And while vows of chastity, obedience, and poverty were taken very seriously, temptation found its way in, sometimes quietly, sometimes scandalously. Breaking a vow of chastity was considered one of the gravest sins. But records from ecclesiastical courts across France, Germany, and Italy reveal something startling. In the 13th and 14th centuries, approximately 15 to 20% of nuns accused of misconduct were found guilty of sexual relations, either consensual or coerced. Some nuns carried on secret affairs with monks, priests, or even local villagers. One trial in 1324 tells the story of Sister Marguerite, accused of hiding a young servant in her cell. She claimed it was for comfort, but witnesses testified she had been seen walking in the village at night, returning at dawn, her habit loose, her demeanor secretive. These weren't isolated incidents. They were repeated patterns, hidden in the shadows of history. Obedience to the abbess or prioress was a vow many took as seriously as chastity. Yet documents show that nuns often resisted, sometimes subtly, sometimes outright. Records from a 15th-century convent in Germany show that nearly 30% of disciplinary cases involved nuns hiding letters, sneaking out of convents, or defying orders. Why? Sometimes for love, sometimes for personal freedom, sometimes simply because strict rules were unbearable. One nun, Helene of Cologne, reportedly faked illness for months to avoid her duties, all while secretly meeting a young scholar in the nearby town. These acts of rebellion might seem minor, but they reveal a critical truth. Even sacred walls could not erase human desire. Vows of poverty were equally complex. Some nuns came from noble families accustomed to wealth and comfort. Giving up material possessions wasn't just inconvenient, it was almost impossible. Historical audits of convents in England and France reveal that over 25% of nuns were caught secretly owning jewels, food, or money, sometimes hidden in their cells. There's a story of Sister Isabella, who smuggled a golden ring into her habit for years. When it was discovered, she claimed it was a gift from God, but the abbess wasn't convinced. The lesson here? Even in sacred spaces, the struggle between idealism and reality was constant. Some of the most shocking records involve love affairs between nuns and outsiders. Romance in medieval convents wasn't just whispered, it sometimes ended in public scandal. In 1317, a convent in Normandy was investigated after rumors spread that 3 nuns were secretly married to local men in clandestine ceremonies. In Italy, letters uncovered decades later show that nuns maintained secret correspondences with monks from nearby monasteries, sharing forbidden poetry and gifts. These stories reveal an uncomfortable truth. Vows could be broken, often more frequently than historians previously admitted. Let's take a step back and look at the numbers across Europe. Chastity violations, 15 to 20% of nuns accused in records. Obedience breaches, nearly 30% faced disciplinary action. Hidden possessions, 25 to 30% secretly kept wealth. Secret love affairs, documented in 10 to 15% of cases, though likely underreported. Remember, these are just the cases that were recorded. The true numbers may have been far higher. In a world where admitting sin could bring exile or death, many secrets remained buried forever. And here's the twist that historians almost didn't want you to know. Some nuns didn't break vows because they were weak. They did it out of love. Forbidden love, in secret, across decades. A nun might risk eternal damnation, punishment, or public shame just to protect someone she cared for. One tragic story, Sister Agnes, who broke her vow of chastity for a monk, was caught and forced into public penance. She wore a heavy iron cross around her neck for a year, walking barefoot through the streets. Yet letters she wrote to him after the punishment survived. She never stopped loving him. This isn't just scandal. It's human courage, defiance, and heartbreak preserved through centuries. What happened to nuns who broke their vows? Consequences varied. Minor punishments, penance, fasting, or public humiliation. Major punishments, exile, imprisonment, or forced labor in the convent. In rare cases, execution. Yet despite the punishments, records show repeated patterns. Human desire, rebellion, and love could not be completely erased, even in the most sacred spaces. What does this teach us today? Perhaps it's that even the most disciplined lives are human. That strict rules cannot erase longing. That love and desire will find a way, and that history is never as simple as it seems. So, the next time you think of medieval nuns as perfect paragons of virtue, remember the hidden stories, the letters, the secret steps in the moonlight. History is messy, human, and utterly fascinating. Which story shocked you the most? Comment below, I'd love to know. And if you enjoyed uncovering these secrets with me, hit that subscribe button, because we've only just begun to explore the hidden truths of the past.